Bonjour, and welcome to Cafe with Grace. Nancy Flaherty, founder of Hidden Gems with Grace, has discovered the secrets to shopping in new places like a local, and she's ready to share them with you. She's explored side streets and back rooms to discover the perfect boutique, offering you that item that you will always treasure, your very own hidden gem. She's at the table, eager to tell you about her latest treasure. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of champagne, and let's hear what she has to say.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my podcast. Today I want to talk to you about my book. I did a thing. Oh my God, I wrote a book. This book has been something that has been on my heart forever, ever since I started as a journalist way back with the Coucou magazine. I've always wanted to write about style and essential pieces that create a wardrobe that any woman can achieve with French flair. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of champagne and let me tell you about my book on Cafe with Grace. As a lot of you have learned over these past few weeks during my podcast sessions, I am obsessed with style. I love to follow styles, see the latest fads and fashions. What's the Pantone color of the year? I also love history, and when I can combine style and history, it's my absolute favorite place to be. So when I think about, okay, what's in my closet that I can use and reuse? What are my favorite pieces that I would keep forever and ever? Those classic pieces that have style and have my own personal history that I would never get rid of. I can list at least 10 items that I can tell you about. I've told a couple of stories about some of the items on my blog. You can go and read about them there, but I go deeper into each of these items in my book, talking about the history behind the item. For example, one of my favorite chapters is about the Statement Handbag. And I am a handbag collector. I have a special closet inside my closet that has glass doors, and it's a place to store my handbags that I've collected over the years. Those handbags mean so much to me that I'm sure there's something I'll be handing down to my daughters, and hopefully they'll preserve and love them as much as I do. So the thing about a statement handbag is that if it's made with quality materials and special care, it can be handed down from generation to generation, and it doesn't have to have a big label or a big name on it. It can. That's not what I'm getting at here. What I want to say is if you find a handbag that you love and that it says it's you and means something special to you, and it is capable of withstanding the test of time, especially if you take care of it well, then that's your statement handbag. My particular handbag that I love to carry is a Louis Vuitton Neverfull, and actually it was my daughter's. It was a gift to her as a graduation gift, and it has her monogram on it and the colors of her university, the college that she was going to at the time. And she decided after a few years of wear that she was going to keep it in her closet here at home. So I grabbed it, and honestly, it's just the right size for me to carry anything in. I carry it every day, and I use it as a shopping tote instead of when I check out at boutiques and stores, instead of getting the plastic bag or paper bag that I'll just bring home and put in the recycle, I use my Neverfull shopping tote, and I just adore it. I think it's fantastic. It's probably could use a good cleaning, but there you go. That's probably my most used bag. My favorite bag from my collection has got to be the brown leather Ramona bag from Jimmy Choo. Years ago, my husband was in New York and on a business trip, and he called me from the airport and he said, "Hey, honey, have you ever heard of a company called Jimmy Choo?" And I said, "Oh my God, yes, size 8. I'm a size 8 immediately." So didn't know what to expect, but he came home with a big lavender box. This was back in the day when Jimmy Choo's boxes were a beautiful, subtle lavender color. And it was a big box, and inside was this very heavy leather bag with gold tone hardware on it, and it said Jimmy Choo. And my husband had read in a People magazine that at the airport that Jimmy Choo had the it bag of the moment, the Ramona bag. And he happened to be walking by the 51st store and saw it in the window and thought of me and brought it home for me for, I think it was a Mother's Day gift. Anyway, Jimmy Choo's Ramona is one of my favorite bags in my collection. I have some of the big name bags like Hermes, Chanel, Tom Ford, and they all are special in their own way to me. So they're all statement bags, and it's something that I think when you find the statement bag that you love, or the multiple statement bags that you love, if you're like me, cherish it and take care of it. And that's the thing about a statement handbag. And now the reason behind why it's a statement handbag is the history, the style history about that bag. For example, the Hermes Birkin bag. It's the holy grail of handbags. Everyone looks at the Birkin and says, "Oh my God, I wish I could get one." It's very difficult to walk into Hermes and just say, "I'd like to buy a Birkin bag." You have to establish a relationship with the Hermes salespeople, and you can find them. There are definitely ways to find them on the resale market. Of course, make sure it's a reputable reseller like Agora Vintage here in Athens, Georgia. Ari has an amazing Instagram presence and online presence. And when you see a bag that you like on her social media, snap it up, call her immediately, because she has such a good following that it often sells immediately as soon as she posts it. So, but yeah, she sells quite a few Birkin bags in several colors if you're interested. But yeah, if you are looking for that Birkin bag, I want to tell you why. Why is that bag so exciting to so many people? Why does that name bring such excitement and such frenzy to people when they see it or they hear about it? Back in the 70s, Jane Birkin was a model and a fashionista and a stylish woman in Britain and France and Europe, and she happened to be on an airplane one time sitting next to one of the heads of the Hermes brand, and she had all of her belongings in a basket, in a wicker basket. And she sat down into her seat on the plane, and her basket flew open and all of her things spilled out on the floor of the airplane. So the two laughed, and as they were putting things back into her basket, they struck up a friendship. And one of the things that came out of that was that his story, being that he was from the house of Hermes, he said, "Let me design a leather bag for you that won't spill things out when you put it down." And voila, the Birkin bag was born. They designed that bag just for her. Another little tidbit of that story is after a few years of her name being on this bag, and it certainly wasn't as popular then as it is now, but a few years after her name being on this bag, she became an advocate for animal rights. And so she asked to have her name taken off the bag because she didn't think that Hermes was treating the animals that they used for the leather in their products fairly. And they spent a lot of time with her, showing her the backstory, the beginnings of the leathers of the bag and how the animals were treated to create these beautiful leathers to make these gorgeous bags. And so she allowed them to keep her name on the bag. Kind of an interesting backstory. But yeah, that's the Birkin bag. And honestly, I feel like the first 20 years of the life of the Birkin bag and the status of the Birkin bag wasn't such a big deal until recent social media posts. And when I say recent, I guess within the last 10 years, have been showing Instagram stars carrying the ultimate Birkin bag. I think I really came into awareness of this bag watching, I guess it was one of the HGTV shows, Selling New York. And the real estate agent there, she always wore black. It was a black top and a black skirt. And then what she would do is have a different color Birkin bag on her arm every time she showed a new house. And I thought, ooh, that's style, that's elegance, that's grace. So that's when I became aware of the Birkins and how special they were. And of course, doing research for my book and finding out more about the story behind the bag. So yeah, the Statement Handbag is one chapter in the book. I also talk about the white blouse and the classic white button-up blouse and the history behind it and how it was a menswear staple for decades until women in the 30s started wearing it. And of course, Hollywood, being a huge fashion influencer at the time, showed pictures of Katharine Hepburn and Marlene Dietrich and Lauren Bacall wearing their husbands or their significant others' white blouse, white shirt with trousers, wearing menswear as women's wear. And it became a fashion staple in a woman's wardrobe. And now you can find a white blouse in any shape and style and form. You can find it still in the oversized menswear look, but you can find a more fitted look. I recorded a podcast. You can go back and listen to my conversation with Darlene Campbell of Campbell and Kate, where we talk about the history of the white blouse and the different styles of white blouses that you can find on the market today. A white blouse is a classic, and every season, whether it's spring, summer, winter, or fall, someone on the runway, whether it's ready to wear, cruise wear, or even haute couture, someone has a white blouse that you can buy and any kind of price point. That's the thing about my book and the chapters within. I'll tell you about price points. I'll tell you where you can find a white blouse at a entry-level price point, and I can tell you where you can find a couture white blouse. So I am so excited about this book. I'm just thrilled to introduce it to you. It's going to be such a pretty book, and hopefully, not hopefully, it's scheduled for release for print on the end of March. So we have a little less than a month to go till I have it in my hands and I can start shipping it to you. If you're interested in buying it, go to my website. There's a page on my website up at the top on the landing page. It says buy my book. The book will be selling for $24.99 and I add $3 for shipping and handling. So I can get it to you anywhere. Would love to let you see it in person. And I'm planning a book tour here in the Southeast where I show up at certain boutiques. If you're a boutique owner out there and would like me to come into your boutique and show your customers my book and also show how to style pieces from my book that are offered in your collection, I would love to collaborate. So give me a message, send me a message if you'd like me to collaborate with you on anything related to the book. I'd love to share it with as many people as possible because, it's a book about style. It's a book about elegance. It's a book about French flair. That's something that I truly aspire to in my life, and I'd love to share with you ways to bring French flair into your life and your customer's life. So let me know if you have any questions. There's a contact form on my website where you can connect with me, or just send me an email, nancy@graceinparis.com. I'd love to hear from you and hear stories about your French flair, your journey towards French flair, and how I can help you. I'd love to be your mentor in this journey. So thanks for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I'd love to share with you stories about French flair. So take care and enjoy your day, and make sure you put something special on and learn the story behind what you're wearing. If you're wearing that little black dress or those ballet flats, learn the story behind those iconic pieces through French flair.
Thank you for joining us at the Cafe with Grace. If you want to know more about finding hidden gems, go to hiddengemswithgrace.com and subscribe to our newsletter, or join us on our next trip as we explore more hidden gems with Grace.